There's something extremely crucial that is going on right in front of you right now that you are observing in society that is taking place. It's happening right in plain sight. The human race is gently but sternly turning into a slave race at large. And this is precisely demonstrated, and it still is, with the C-19 series of events, which is merely an exposition to something much bigger. See, this expository event of the C-19 utilized the deeply embedded essence of fear to awaken the impulse of bigot in people, where those who hold a certain perspective are more than willing to trample on others, loved ones or not, without second thought, simply because they woke up one day and someone instructed them to feel and think a certain way. The human race is slowly but firmly becoming a slave race that eats its own flesh without being able to actually explain why it is doing what it is doing beyond responding to what others have instructed them to do by way of fear, beyond allowing others to define and give reason to why they should behave a certain way. See, at this point, we become no different than animals. There's a well-known saying that everything that can be found in a pig and a horse can be found in men and women. These animals have blood, muscles, fat, heart, liver, kidney, etc. So do humans. But the sole difference between humans and these creatures is the mind, the ability to use a certain level of discernment, the ability to observe your own thoughts. That certain level of discernment is what separates humans from animals. Actually, people wake up one day and get a bombardment of fear telling them to act, feel, and think a certain way, and they don't think twice about it. No different than an animal in a barn where its husband comes in and begins to tell it to move according to his or her plan in order to maximize the efficiency of the farm. The capacity to observe our own thought and the sole attribute of self-observation and deductive reasoning, awareness that separates humans from other animals has been abandoned by way too many humans. And the proof of this is with the advent of artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is good, but it's happening right in front of you in a manner that strips away that one attribute that separates you from an animal. Whether you realize it or not, it's taken over many aspects of your life. The aspect of work, the aspect of money, the aspect of love, the aspect of business, which has its upside and downside. And people don't realize this. A message is being sent to you to tell you that you are not intelligent enough by these people. The people proliferate in these different means of fear and subtle hegemony, one that is extremely effective, far more effective than outright doing it in a blatant manner that says you're being taken over. These people are sending you a message to tell you that you are not intelligent enough since you allow certain things to occur. Therefore, your job, your life, your ability to have access to certain things and resources are limited. See, the use of artificial intelligence is not what people think. It is for the purpose of limiting your access. That thing called liberty. Liberty is just the freedom from permission. With the advent of AI and the more consistent and popular use of the different types of varying degrees of artificial intelligence through technology, that liberty gets stripped away. Recourses are limited because everything else is automated. And that automation gives you a fixed algorithm to which you can live your life based on how humans have pre-programmed the technology to function. Now someone can use an arm's length reach to abrogate you without you knowing who's really behind it, why it works the way it does. and you're just going along with it, your resources will be limited. You can say that you are not a 14th Amendment citizen, but intrusion against rights and obligation of contracts works by duress and acceptance of the public at large of that same duress. And the benefits of that which is not for serfs or 14th Amendment citizens, placeholders, are kept for those who are privy socio-economically rather than the everyday man. It matters not whether you're making 7 or 6 figures. You are the everyday man. You and I have the responsibility to awaken the mind of the next man, not by putting them down or by pestering them, but by simply stating the truth and leaving it be. Many people have this vicious tendency to go, okay, because I know something now, I must first put you down. That is no different than what the tortfeasor is doing against the public at large. Tell the truth and leave it be. All humans intrinsically know the truth. Regardless of the presence of fear, all humans know to some extent that what they are doing is all right or not. But since we are social beings, we seek the consent and acknowledgement of others to alleviate whether what we are doing is all right or not. And this need for collective consciousness, as powerful as it is for good, is also our greatest detriment, because it is also powerful for that which is contrary to the benefit of those perpetuating the direct and indirect serfdom one way or the other. The need for human acknowledgement as a social being, the need for collective consciousness, the stranger syndrome, whereby there's a crowd of people walking about and someone falls and is having some type of hardship with their breath or some type of health issue. And everyone else walking past in that crowd says, well, there's a lot of people out here. Surely someone will respond. So if I just walk by and do nothing, it's all right, because there's a lot of people who see this and somebody will respond. A lot of people are doing that, the public at large. People who see the issue are not doing anything or saying anything. They're just going by using it. Even if they're mildly apprehensive or see the potential of how it affects their lives now or in the future, they go by using it anyway. They don't think about the future generation. This thing whereby someone does one thing and you just follow it. You follow the follower because it's the trend that everyone else is doing. That collective consciousness, as it is useful for good things, it is also our greatest weakness. It is also our greatest demise. I'm certain you've heard of this new hype of robots being used by municipal police. Let me tell you the bottom line truth that no one will ever say regarding the use of some artificial intelligence, some drone or some humanoid form that can use deadly force, etc. The truth is that the artificial intelligence does nothing without human provocation. I'll say that again. Artificial intelligence, computers, technologies, does absolutely nothing without the provocation of humans. Beginning from the point of programming, to the point of acknowledgement of use, to the point of action during the use itself. Meaning someone had to program that artificial intelligence to behave a certain way. Therefore, that artificial intelligence cannot behave unless the intent of the human who created and programmed it is being effectuated. Artificial intelligence does nothing without human provocation. And a robot being used, especially at this introductory and experimental stage, by municipal police against the public at large, has cameras as the eyes and motion sensors as signal for someone controlling it remotely. Do not allow this type of AI to render your basic cognitive reasoning useless. If and when you read the internal policies of the use of these artificial intelligence, they clearly let you know it is being operated by someone remotely. Albeit, they use phrases that are deliberately vague. No different than crypto caches, cryptocurrencies. Cryptocurrencies are like any other artificial tool that require provocation to function. And no, they are not private or confidential because your internet protocol, your IP, can still be tracked unless things like Tor are used. Even then, the sequence of what occurs in the wallet is still traceable. You're saying it is encoded by the sender or the receiver, or it's encrypted one way or the other, or the sender and the receiver can only be recognized through some series of numbers and letters. Nonetheless, the activity of the wallet itself is still traceable. The name would show, but the activities themselves within the wallet are still not confidential. Why? Because the KYC gateways are still applicable. KYC is known as the Know Your Customer requirements, according to banking laws. Unless performed as a joint transaction, the history of fingerprints are still traceable. Your internet protocol, the device you used, your geolocation is still traceable. The activities is still traceable. In technology, there's data and there's metadata. No matter how you look at it, a little bit of both is still traceable. Even if you think all these things that you're doing, but technology is privy. Many people are just jumping on a bandwagon, unless performed as a joint transaction. So the hype when it comes to AI is not there just yet, unless you dispose of common sense and replace it with fear and the need to follow the sales pitch that everyone is handing to you. The cryptocurrencies are already being regulated by legislative language, in case you were not aware of it. Even before regulations, some Bitcoin machine locally available, tradable with USD requires the presentation of an ID. And this premise will be the foundation used by regulation of cryptocurrencies in a more stiff manner. The recipes for all of that is already in place. The right time and the right reason to cook it all up is what is being planned right now as we speak. The clues are everywhere right now in our face. It is not hidden. You can say you're not a 14th Amendment, that you're not going to do one thing or the other, but access will be limited and thus compelling you to only do certain things a certain way. What you need to look at is how to prevent the limitation of access, which will impel people to only use a limited avenue of exchange of goods by way of specific types of currency. This is the reason why we speak about comprehending the intricacies of the why and how of how the world works, the lawful and legal manner and spiritual manner on this page. You need to comprehend these things. What you think your solution is, or however comfortable you are with what you're doing, it is not where the future is going. You need to see the totality of circumstance. Things like smart contracts, municipal police bots, cryptocurrencies, all these things are not self-executed. They still require the stimulation of a human being to function. Put these things into consideration when it comes to the world of artificial intelligence. Take care. Best of luck.